And here is Beatrice in the 2-star at Terra Nova. And then again, just getting her ready to come down the center line. And it's actually really neat because right as I was about to go in, A Moment Like This by Kelly Clarkson started playing. So I think it really helped any way that you can find to relax and stay focused. But it's one of my favorite songs because it reminds me of Fledge, but it was really fun to kind of hear that as I went down the center line. And she feels very nice and focused and in between my aids. And again, our partnership is still fairly new, so we're just working on the building blocks of developing that and getting to know each other, and it always can kind of take a minute when starting to figure out a new horse and what works for their warm-up and in the training and everything, but she's coming along really nicely. And into this leg yield, you can see has really nice crossover into the leg yield. Nice and uphill. Now preparing for the second leg yield. This one I think I needed to kind of keep coming sideways. And then into our medium trot, which again, that's going to get better and better as she learns to kind of sit and come up higher in the front end. And then a very smooth transition. So again, as this is going, it feels lovely. I'm very pleased with how she's going. She has an incredible walk. I believe at the last competition I was able to score a 10 at the walk, but this walk she is a little bit just a little distracted in the contact, so I wasn't able to get the biggest mark as when she can really take it and just focus on swinging through the walk. But again, she's on my aids, then coming into our halt. I was actually quite pleased with this, and then into the rein back. Oh, again, we have to work a little bit in her the connection, but that's just a little bit of patience, and it's getting much better. So now coming into the canter, which is supposed to be over the center line on that half 20-meter circle. And probably, if I'm to say anything, the canter is where she could really gain a couple more points. But again, into our lengthened canter, which was pretty good. And she's feeling very rideable, very on the aids, very focused. And we cross the diagonal here. And we have to do 3 to 4 canter strides where you put your hands forward, kind of up the neck. And she stayed really correct. Into the down transition. And again, we're preparing for the second canter transition. And I was really pleased with how kind of through she was staying in the transitions, making sure she's nice and uphill. But again, I could just maybe have a touch more engagement in the canter to just have a little bit more snap in it. And again, our other lengthen down the long side. She comes back really nicely. And again, with the crossing the diagonal and then over X, you can see I give 3 to 4 strides. It can be a very difficult movement to do because then you have to kind of keep them balanced into the counter canter on the rail. But I was very proud of her, and we come into our final halt and salute. And it was a very good test, scoring a 26.8 and putting us tied, I believe, for 4th. Actually, we were tied for 13th after dressage. So really pleased with her in that. And then on to show jump. And again, this ring can tend to have some atmosphere, but she was feeling really nice and focused. Coming to the first line. And she does have a big stride, so I have to be mindful of that. But she is a big, powerful jumper. And the other thing we've been working on is just keeping the relaxation, because sometimes she can get a little anxious and want to kind of go to the fence. So it's just a matter of keeping her relaxed and staying soft. She does that line really well. I was able to kind of hold her off the plank a little bit there. And jumped really well over that oxer, and then had to steady a little bit for the triple. And now coming to this outside line, I get a little bit of a bigger shot there, and so because of her big stride, I had to steady a little bit. And then very good to the last fence. So really pleased with that clean round. Moved us up several places to be tied for 6th. So then going out on cross country, again, she can be fairly strong, and just working on our partnership together, I just really wanted to have a nice go going forward and staying, kind of on the same page was really my goal. And she felt pretty good over the first 2 fences. And then as we went along, she really started to settle and focus even more. So now this is kind of near the later part of the course. And she's such a brave mare. Just as long as I can kind of keep that connection and keep, us in the right balance, then we're good. But now I'm feeling much more comfortable, able to really feel her gallop. See a really nice shot to that table, and coming around to this angled combination here, which walked into longer 5, and you'll see she just steps down it she has a humongous stride. So I get a good distance in, and it ends up being a smidge tight, but she does it beautifully, and she has really great footwork. So now kind of letting her cruise on, and she has a really nice big gallop. And again, got some cool video with my dad on the golf cart. Got a good shot to that. Coming to the ditch and wall, which as we were coming, I was trying to get her to set up just a little bit. And she didn't believe me until we got to the ditch and wall. And then she did some nice quick footwork, but that's okay. Second to the last fence, again, another good shot. And now going on to the last fence, always want to make sure that we're in balance. And here I wanted to steady up a little bit more, and she didn't quite want to as much. But we ended up being a bit 6 seconds slow, finished 5th in a really big division, so I was really quite pleased with her. We had a great weekend.